papers in there from one meeting to the next and then clean them out when it's time for the next one. And
a mirror in yours?
Oh,
yeah. Well, you know, I might have one in there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 5:30. Paul isn't able to make it this evening, so please bear with me. This is my first meeting that I'm going to oversee. If you'll join me, please, in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Aaron, did you have a chance to look over the minutes of the meeting?
I did. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of March 4th meeting.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Claims and allowances, did you get a chance to look over those?
Make a motion to approve the claims and allowances.
I will second that. All in favor? Aye. All right, our Joe and Elizabeth Park, are you here this evening?
We are.
All right, sir, you come on up.
We're here to request the pavement of 700, Road 700 north of Lagodi. There's a number of semis that go up and down that road because we have a couple of turkey farmers back there. And a lot of times they're getting 2 loads of feed a week. Plus, we were told it is one of the few gravel roads still in that end of the county up there. And plus, our son and his wife run the garden park, which is a rather large garden center that
Yes.
they get customers from Bloomington to Evansville or close to Louisville. So we just think it would be a feather in our hat, the county's hat, to have that paved, or it would look a little bit better and be better for the visitors of our county. So that is our request.
Okay.
Like I said, apologize. Scott, when he's out of town on business, but our highway superintendent, so unfortunately he's not here. It's a bad day for roads, I guess, but definitely noted. I remember you guys coming in before, probably about 6 months or a year ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, well, and somebody came and worked on some of the potholes in the road, sort of not in front of our house. But the neighbor up the road, brought his skid steer loader down there and worked for probably an hour and a half on it. So that helps for a little bit, but it'll roll right out of those potholes. But anything you could do to help us out, we would appreciate it.
We will definitely see what we can do. Thank you, sir, for coming. Okay, Darla, are you here?
No, I'm sorry. She said she wanted to postpone. She needed to do some more research.
Okay. All right. Carolyn.
That's one that has the signatures on it, that's only difference. You might
Tell them what this thing does.
Hey, Carol.
This is concerning the pictometry that we have, which is a mapping system. And there are different sizes, like the ones in town are, they call them tiles, or 3-inch tiles, and the ones in the country were 6-inch. So they're getting ready to fly, that they're flight this year. So I asked them if we could have all of them at 3-inch. It makes it so much easier for our office to be able to, measure the buildings. So in there's the very last page is an amendment that will cancel the agreement we had before, and then the other one is the actual agreement with the company for the new one. And we have the money in reassessment, there won't be any new money
Okay.
that you have to think about.
Just same thing we've done every year. So Dave, you got
And
any
Dave
issues?
has looked at that.
I have no legal objection to it, so.
Make a motion to approve the pictometry contract
I will second
for the
that.
assessor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you.
How many copies you need, Carolyn?
I think we'll need at least two. Michelle need one and I'll need one.
Marked.
All this?
And I did note that they need to be dated, so we get a new date, okay?
What'd you
They
say?
have a
Yeah, I
blank
think all
date.
the spots.
Yes, there's a blank date.
You said the magic words, you have the money.
You want-
It's nice to hear you already have that, so yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you
Carol.
for coming
Have a great
in.
night. I don't think I have to sign that.
So just two there.
There should be 3 spots.
Yep, there is.
3 or 2?
Yeah, there's 3.
You have the right page, it's just way down at the bottom. You
Oh.
can see it. Yeah,
Find it?
yeah, it's way down here at the bottom. Thank you.
Sir?
Oh. We'll go to the commander there.
Commander?
Yeah.
Okay, Julie?
She's out of town. I'm sorry. I didn't know
Okay,
that
that's-
one. I
no,
put
that's
her
okay.
on the
That is
agenda.
fine.
And I've looked at this, this is for the clerk's office, it's a contract, and I have no legal objection to it. It's for software and operation for the clerk's office. This is for child support collection, so, and it's pretty much dictated by the great state of Indiana, so I would recommend that, well, again, I had no legal objection, and knowing that it's for child support, I would recommend that the commissioners approve it.
Make a motion to approve the service agreement with Maximus for the clerk's office.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
You need to sign it. I trust you, Dave, completely. On the county codes, is that what I just asked of anybody? Okay.
Yeah, he usually goes to
Okay,
EMA first.
let's go. Andy, have you got anything for us?
Maybe aware that we had a weather event this weekend, as all of Lagodi buzzing. Spent yesterday walking around with the state damage assessment team, looking for the fully damaged homes in Lagodi, trailers and that kind of stuff, hoping to get opened up for some grant opportunities from the state for recovery. And a part of that is the disaster declaration that I've laid in front of you, that the one grant will require that, the other grant won't. So just to cover our bases, just go ahead and sign that, and if you would, with the legal counsel's approval. We're not asking for any special actions by the sheriff's department or police department or any of the citizens, other than document your cost and your damage. At some point in the future, we may announce a grant office opening up that people can bring their paperwork and perhaps get some of their uninsured costs
Okay,
reimbursed. No guarantee, but if we don't try, we won't get it.
okay. Do you need a couple copies on that, or just one?
If you would just email me a
Okay, we can do
copy
that.
of it after you've signed it.
Okay,
So, just one fewer piece of paper in my.
sure.
So, the other thing is today we had a meeting with what's called the Hazard Mitigation Plan. And I emailed you guys the next meeting date, and I'll be putting that out to the wider public because it's a public meeting.
April
16th,
but there is one in June also.
yes, and the one in June.
April 16th at 1 o'clock at the EMA building. The one in June is June 10th from 1 to 3. And they say the one in June's kind of the more important one of the two. So if you have to pick one, that'd be the best one to go to.
Good. Thank you.
This is a in-kind contribution grant, so the more bodies we have, the better. Because it speeds us up. I think it's $28 an hour that we get for people attending. As well as we want the input. We want people to say what hazards they see that would be ripe for grant opportunities from the state. And there are several school grants that are specifically tied to attending these meetings, so I'll be getting with the school on that. And I'll let you mention the weather grant, or the weather station grant?
Yeah, so we were awarded a grant through REMC today for a weather station. So it'll be linked to the Ambient Weather is the company.
I have no idea.
Okay.
That's someone bombing our meeting.
Yes.
Wow.
So we'll be able to
Can't have
transmit
nice
information to the National Weather Service, and that could potentially help us also. I wouldn't say so much on like the FEMA side of stuff, but they always ask, what does the National Weather Service have? So we got that. It was actually ordered today, so I'm hopefully in the next 2 weeks it should be up and running. And
Great
it'll
news.
be there at the EMA building.
Good deal.
Something else, I think, we had discussed it today, but you guys can be made aware of it, is with like the frequency and the intensity of all the storms lately, having a debris management plan, we discussed that. So Lagodi currently is taking all their stuff down past where the main site is. They have a lot, but this is something that county commissioners should also be aware of, like potentially getting with some farmers if, you know, in a dire situation, if we can use their field to, the debris has to be not only consolidated but separated. So like trees and stuff like that would go in one, construction material would be in another, and then metal is a separate. So that might be something to get reimbursed later on if you guys have to use your own equipment, or if we need to acquire grapples or something like that, or big chippers. So there is, I know FEMA right now with the current administration is going through a lot of changes, but FEMA does require that we have a plan and kind of show where these sites are going to be at, and we should probably have at least 2 or 3 throughout the whole county. So, but that's something we're kind of discussing Turner right now. So if you start hearing this in the future, that's what it's going to be about.
Good deal.
And then if the 211 is
Yeah,
set
I was
up,
gonna say, the one thing I did forget to mention is that anyone who has damage that we haven't interviewed them about, dial 211 or go up on the internet for Indiana 211, and you should find an open case for Martin County's Lagodi tornado, severe weather, and just report your information in there, and it will go into the bean bin for the state to contact you later if there are grant opportunities available.
I did see your link. That's, I hope people report it, you know, I mean,
I think last I saw, no one's called into it yet, so it's got the state all nervous. Like, they like for people to use theirs.
yeah, if they're, I mean, that's what they're there to do is help. I mean,
Yep, you know, and it lets everyone be aware of the situations. I was talking to the Weather Service, and he said that most of Lagodi's damage wasn't directly from the tornado, but what they call a right forward flank downdraft. So it's just a little bit offset and a little bit down. So that's why you see some of the more serious roof lifting and damage up on the north side of town. And then most of the stuff in the middle of town, it looks like more straight line winds. So just no air crashing down on them. But there are a lot of people on roofs today. So, yeah.
I've seen a bunch of trucks go by with roofing equipment or supplies.
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon we got another storm coming in too. I don't think it's going to be nearly as severe, but anyone that's got anything that's open, a roof or a window, should probably be on the getting it covered up because it does look like it's going to bring some weather in.
Well, there's some rain in it. I don't think there'll be as much rain, but some. And then there'll be another one racked up for the first part of next week. So we're getting freight trained with severe storms for the next couple of weeks.
Seems like they've gotten intense over the last several years.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all I had on my phone.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
And if anyone has any questions, they can find my phone number.
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying not to hide.
Did they say they lifted the burn ban?
No,
Yes.
yeah, we have.
Okay.
We just haven't
I
mentioned
didn't know
that.
if they said it.
Jeremy, do
No,
you have
they didn't.
anything for us this evening?
I do not.
Okay, thank you.
And Andy, just so we'll get in the meeting minutes, burn ban lifted today, right?
Yeah, that's kind of, I forgot to mention that. Some of the fire chiefs have questioned whether or not that was a
They
good
like that in the
idea, but
minutes, so.
it is what it is. We're the only county in southern Indiana that had the burn ban on. And so it's all a matter of you guys' decision, so.
The problem is, you know, whether burn ban or no, just because there's no burn ban now doesn't mean you need to be careful. Today the winds was horrendous and,
Yep.
you know, I guess the old saying, you can't fix stupid, so. But people, you know, and, you know, if they need a proclamation or something that just for normal weather, I'm sure the attorney there can find out the state law of Indiana on burning stuff, because there's a strict law on what you can burn, what you can't burn, how you can't leave it unattended, you're not supposed to burn it out. I mean, it covers a whole lot of stuff. And it's one of those laws people don't usually, you know, look at, but I mean, it's there in law, so you can't just do whatever you want to do, even when there is no burn ban. So they, maybe, I don't know, for lack of education, the only thing I can think of is what some of the things people do, maybe they just don't realize. Because there was one or two, let's see, there was one yesterday or today.
Get it?
There were two, I think, of course, the one today apparently was about the
They
size of the
like-
yard.
Suspended our account right now.
Well, good.
Yeah,
You get it down off the, you
But
get it down
anyway,
off the,
people
no, I couldn't
need
do
to be
it.
careful.
I'll see if we can see it or not.
Thank you.
It's okay, Michelle. Stuff happens. It's not your fault. I mean, we can't control some of that stuff. Anyone in the audience have anything for us this evening? Yes, sir.
Couple comments about the roads.
Okay.
Thank you guys for doing what you do, the emergency services and road crews. They do the best they can with what they have.
Michelle, is that what,
No, that's not on. This recorder is.
you need to speak up though, please.
Okay, well, okay, I don't know why. Anyway, thank you guys for doing what you do and with what you have, doing the best you can with what you have. I was just curious to know, does Martin County have a road bond on like log trucks or heavy trucks? All these vehicles coming in that tearing up our roads, and it doesn't seem to be any repercussions about it. It just happens. And I know we're going to get the wheel tax, and that's another subject, but here we're going to have to pay more, and the roads are still going to get destroyed by log trucks and feed trucks and farm equipment and stuff like that. You got any answers for this?
Did we do something a few years ago? Did we just?
At one point, Martin County had road bonds. It was primarily for coal traffic. But the various boards of commissioners, as they were constituted, did not continue them. So at this point, there is no road bond established for any type of traffic in Martin County.
What would you consider that? Because like I said, we're going to get this wheel tax, and if you do it fairly, I don't know how, if the state mandates how you do it, where there's going to be taxed on four-wheelers and RV, campers and little things that don't tear up the road, but you have all these people, things come in from out of county, log trucks, feed trucks, stuff, that are destroying the road, and they can get away with it, no problem, we have to pay for it. So I'd like to suggest that maybe if we did have a road bond or something like that, that maybe the road superintendent could take a video of the path they've said they're gonna use before and afterwards, so you'd have proof who's tearing up the roads. And you'd have to be blind not to see what I'm talking about, because there's a lot of roads here that get destroyed and no repercussions at all. It just, it's really,
agreed. I mean,
yeah.
so,
I was down in Crawford County a week or so ago, and they got signs down there saying if you're over a 12-ton load limit, that you have to have a bond or something, you gotta be registered to, see who's doing the damage. And I thought that's a pretty good idea, but I know you can't put up signs all over the place and signs are not cheap either, but I hope the wheel tax things is done fairly, and I don't know how much control you have over that, but I know we're gonna get it, and if it helps the roads, great.
I just know there's been discussion about this gentleman, I think he's from Lafayette, that come down several years ago.
Oh, LTAP?
Yeah, LTAP, because I'm sure there's different options, and we haven't even met with him yet, and I never have, but I think that's probably recommended.
Well, I know a lot of counties don't have, you can't ride four-wheelers on them and stuff like that, but we can here, and you shouldn't have a tax on something that weighs 500 pounds or something. Where the log trucks and the feed trucks and farm equipment are tearing up the road, it's just not fair, so I hope you can come to some kind of...
I agree, Kevin, there's out in my neck of the woods per se, those guys our highway guys spent 10 days, out there, busting their butt, and it was hot. In one weekend or week, that road was just destroyed.
Well, it's going to get worse because there's going to be a lot more logging out that direction here shortly too, and I do believe that it might be using the old Dover Hill Road, which is in pretty good shape. See how that turns out, but I'm just trying to drive home that point.
No, good point.
Appreciate if you can do whatever you can do on that, and please consider the road bond and things that kind of help pay for this damage instead of, thank you.
Thank you. Michelle?
Yeah, let's see. Back to bailiff training and equipment. So, I apologize, I wasn't clear at the last meeting that the 2,500 in training equipment and 2,500 in training, and then 2,500 in equipment, both weren't spent totally. So, last year, $1,948.99 was spent in equipment for the previous bailiff, and then $322.96 was spent in training. So I got the judge, and she got with the sheriff's department to try to estimate their expenses. They've estimated $1,699 in equipment will be needed. It'll be a handgun, boots, badge, and a vest. Then Chief Keller said probably maximum $2,000 in case he has to replace any shirts or pants. He believes max will be $2,000. And then he and the judge estimate maximum $1,000 in training.
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we're asking for out of the unrestricted opioid funds if possible.
You have a total.
Yeah, 2,000 in equipment and then 1,000 in training.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the bailiff training and equipment.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
believe that's all we had, just the new bids.
David, do you have anything for us this evening?
I really don't, sorry.
Well, it's a beautiful evening. I mean, anyone else have anything for
We
us?
have these,
I had a couple things.
Okay,
One was the
one moment, please. I'm sorry, Dave, what did you have?
we have these bids on the CCMG,
Okay,
so we'll need to open those at some point.
okay, thank you. Mary, I'll get back with you. Okay, sir, Mary?
I might take a while with my questions, so if you would like to go on, I'm willing to wait to the end of the meeting.
Okay, all right. Okay, what do you have for us, sir?
well, I was just touching base back again about that little strip of property in Burn City that I corner on two sides about just purchasing it off the county versus us hassling back and forth about it. That way I can make a better plan to develop my corner there. You know, I had a plan to put a building up on the north side, and now I can contemplate putting one up on the south side if I own that property, you know, and I made a tentative offer on it. Because of the cost to move my container 50 foot north, you know, it just makes more sense to buy it off the county, own it, and then if I develop it, then there's a building on it, it'll get property tax on it, it'll actually be better off in the long run for the county in my book. Now, I don't know, you know.
I had thought about this, and you can make up your own mind, Rita, that's for sure. I know it's awful convenient when Scott's up there and needs a piece of equipment up there. It's kind of like our only good spot to park, so I'm not in favor of selling it. So.
Well, you know, the biggest thing I've got is I've got that container, and I thought I was off of where the actual piece of property was, because it was kind of unclear where it was. For the last 40 years, I thought it was where the foundation was. And it was my understanding that one corner of that foundation was actually sitting on me. And it may be a different corner than I was thinking. But,
I was thinking that, did we have that surveyed?
Surveyor,
Scott
surveyor went up.
was up there. Okay.
I've been advised the surveyor was up there and
Yes, I'm
checked
almost
it.
certain he was.
Yeah, him and Scott went up, yeah.
I mean, you know,
That's just my feelings on it. I can't speak for the other two. But.
I mean, I'm trying to be a little more fair with the county, because one, it would, if I developed it, put a building there, you know, it does more, but, and my intention is not to completely take up that whole corner. My intention is actually to build a building there and leave a chunk of parking area, and it would be, you know, just, you know, somebody pick up a phone, hey, we need to park a piece of equipment there, can you make room for me? You know, I would have, you know, we could have the agreement that you guys could park something there, you know, in inclement weather or when you're doing certain services up there. And the fact was that you guys didn't rock as far back as where I put the container. You only put rock in where the foundation was, where the old church was. So I'm nowhere near where you guys had it before. And, you know, I'm just trying to come to a little bit better agreement. I've got a piece of property in Lagodi I'm buying to put stuff in and move things around. But moving that container takes special equipment, and they also have to be able to get the equipment in there to move the container. The only reason it's where it's at is because it was brought in by a hot shot and not a, I mean, the only way to do it is some kind of a special wrecker or the special crane for that container to move it 50 feet north. And I mean, you know, if we can come to some agreement with my container being there without causing undue problems, because I didn't actually.
I think in the long term, we want to try to keep it clean, our part cleaned up. I mean,
Well,
just for the traffic that goes around the.
But, you know, where actually the line is and where you guys quit putting rock, you put it inside the foundation of the old church. And I stayed 12, 15 feet away from that, you know, farther east. Even though I'm 20 foot over the line with my container, I'm nowhere near where you guys were parking equipment. And
Like I said, Scott's been up there, he's more familiar with it than I am, but
I was talking to Nate about it, and he was like, man, he says, I don't understand why they're messing around with this. They ought to just sell it and get rid of it. But that was just, you know, him speaking offhand when he was on the phone with me right after his surgery. And
like I said, at this point, I'm not in favor of selling it until, you know, we wait till Paul comes back.
Yeah,
well, if you want to wait to another meeting, that's fine.
Right.
I mean,
and I know Scott did say that they do use it some, so I feel like it's something that's feasibly something we can use. Yeah, I'm not in favor either. So we'll see. We can
see,
table that.
the biggest problem is that just even though it's just where the, I mean, you know, if it was just where the foundation was, I mean, you know, but, you know, then again, the problem is, am I going to continue to have problems with the county wanting me to move that, you know, spend $3,000 or $4,000 to move my container 50 foot north, which actually makes it inconvenient for me in the long run. And I'm just trying to come to some kind of an agreement here, you know, even if I don't buy the property. But you know, my whole process was I want to build a building that I can work out of, and like I said, we could have it a gentleman's agreement or whatever you want to call it, to, you know, if there was a place to park equipment or something there, with, you know, within reason, you know. And
I just think the best thing is just wait till Paul comes back, we'll table it and come to a meeting. And
but these guys were talking about roads. I would want to mention something, that Second Road, and I haven't been down First Road in a couple of months, but I know First Road was getting a little rough there going over the hill, and I know we've got some older folks that are back down in town, so might want to, I know Second Road, as you just go down the hill there, right there, down to that first crossroad, it is really rough, because I drive a straight axle truck, and I mean, it bounces the crap out of me. I'd hate to say what it would do to a ambulance or fire engine or something like that would have to get up in there. So I mean, you know, might be
I
something.
said it's unfortunate, but it is a bad day to kind of talk about roads, just because I would like Scott to be here, so we're all in the same loop. I mean,
Well, I just wanted to mention it. It was something that, you know, there is something that it is getting rough, and it just it just popped into my head as these other people were talking about bad roads, and I don't know what it would take to straighten that up, but you know, it's
Okay.
it is
Yeah. Well, we'll table that until we can talk to
Mhm.
Paul, okay?
yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mary?
Okay, I have one question, and it pertains to the redevelopment, Martin County Redevelopment Commission, and the Martin County Alliance.
Okay, wait a minute, may I?
Yes.
please.
Commissioners have no control over them. Commissioners are members of that, but if you've got issues with the redevelopment commission, you need to bring that to the redevelopment commission meeting. Commissioners have no control.
Oh, I didn't say I had issues. I don't have
Well-
issues with redevelopment.
Well, but that's what you mentioned, Mary. I'm just,
I had questions about what they do, the differences in them. Can you address that, or no? What's the difference between the redevelopment and the alliance?
may I?
Yeah,
Okay, since
they do work hand in hand.
The Alliance is a not-for-profit organization and it is a private not-for-profit organization that takes the lead on economic development issues throughout Martin County. redevelopment commission is authorized by Indiana statute to be established either by county or by city to also work on economic redevelopment issues. The alliance functions because it can operate more privately. It doesn't have to have open meetings. Most economic well, not most, but a lot of economic development issues start out privately because they don't want to share proprietary information with the general public and with their competitors. So that's why there's a private organization that operates and tries to facilitate economic development. So now redevelopment commission, they are given certain authority under Indiana statutes to do certain things like promote tax abatements and bringing those to the county council, and to handle TIF money, set up TIF districts, tax increment financing districts, and collect that money and utilize that money for purposes. And that's all, again, that's a governmental function, so that's why the redevelopment commission exists. And Lagodi has either done so or is in the process of setting up their own redevelopment commission. I really haven't heard whether they followed through on that yet or not. So, but
Believe they have.
yeah. So, it has been that the redevelopment commission handled everything in Martin County along those lines. But if the city of Lagodi has done theirs, then they're going to have their redevelopment commission that'll handle issues in the city, within the city boundaries. So that's just kind of the and I will also say the redevelopment commission and the alliance try to work together, and the redevelopment commission has helped fund the alliance somewhat by $40,000 a year that is given to the alliance to help funding, and this year it's going to be used to help do the what's it called? Is it the storefront project or the awning project?
Yes.
I forget the official name of it, but those funds are going to be used to help do that, so they can improve the faces of certain whatever businesses apply for that within the county. So they have two separate authority. Well, not authorities, but two separate goals. They do work together, but they are separate entities.
Okay. Does the county provide funding to redevelopment then, to the redevelopment, Martin County redevelopment? Does the county provide funding?
Early on, the county did help fund issues with redevelopment, like it helped fund the taking over what was known as Crane North and has become Westgate, and to make that purchase and facilitate that taking over that land that has become Westgate. But other than that, no county government does not fund redevelopment commission. Redevelopment commission functions on its own funding. It has collected TIF money. I couldn't tell you the balance in that account, but but that money is controlled by the redevelopment commission.
Okay. And that's through TIF? Don't it?
Almost all that money that redevelopment commission has under its control has come from the TIF district up at Crane, which until last 2 weeks ago, that was the only TIF district we had. And now there's been a new TIF district established south of that TIF district and also covers the Burns City area. That if anything ever happens there, then that will be commercial there. Then those funds, there will be funds derived and add to that TIF district as well. It'll be a separate TIF district, separate TIF fund from the Westgate TIF.
Okay, and the county does also provide funding for the Alliance, Martin County Alliance.
No. County does not fund the Martin County Alliance. Redevelopment Commission has, I think, at least the last 3 years, if not 4 years, has funded, has given, I think it's $40,000 a year to the Alliance for some of their projects.
Okay.
But no, you have to keep it separate. That's, Martin County Board of Commissioners are authorized to handle county business. Martin County Board of Commissioners has not transferred any money to the Martin County Redevelopment Commission or to the Alliance.
I'll have to check on that, but I thought there was a contract that the county signed with the Alliance with a certain amount of money attached. But I'll have to check on that.
That was the Redevelopment Commission, Mary.
Commissioners did give $120,000 in their budget
For what?
to the Alliance.
I think part of that's salary, isn't it?
And $40,000 from the Redevelopment Commission went to salary, but.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to have to back off that, Mary, because I'm going to have to ask. She handles the money, so maybe you can explain that, because
Yeah, it's been in the Commissioner's budget for $120,000 since I've been here. Each year to go to the Alliance. And it's in the contract too, for that amount.
Well, I apologize, Mary, because I'm not in charge of funding, so I'm not aware. I'd have to look at that, and between Michelle and I, we can get you an explanation.
So what does the contract with Alliance, the commissioners and the Alliance, what does that provide? I'm sorry, the more I come to meetings, the more I figure out that I don't know much about county politics and what goes on. So I'm just asking, because I don't know what the $120,000
Well,
funds.
Michelle and I will have to pull that contract out and get you answers on it.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Anyone have anything else?
Yeah, we have to open these bids.
Okay.
I got one more question.
Yeah.
I think in the past, it was my understanding the county provided the Humane Society with some funds each year. And the Humane Society was closed for a while. Do you guys still are you still gonna provide money to the?
Yes.
That's the council.
Yeah, would be the council, but we never took it out of our,
Yeah, the council did approve the $17,000 again this year. We have sent it to them
Okay,
already
great.
this year.
Thank you.
Dave?
You ready for this?
Ready.
You have two bids on the 2025 community crossings. Well, I'll open them now, and then we always table the actual decision. We have to make sure that
Scott.
that we go over them and make sure they're responsive. First one I'm opening is from Millstone, which Millstone's here. The project this year is Emmons Ridge Road from Rusk Road to Hillham Road. Hillham Road from Evans Ridge to County Line. Mill Road from County Line to Country Pines Road, also Albright Store Road. Hickory Ridge Road from State Road 450 to Poor Farm Road. Ramadai Road from US 50 to County Road 72, which is Brett Road. And then Graded Road from Jenkins Road to Graded Lane, which is the county line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 different projects here. The first one, Emmons Ridge Road from Risk Road to Hillham Road is $232,293.50. Hillham Road from Emmons Ridge Road to County Line, that is $172,624.07. Mill Road from County Line to Country Pines Road, $213,669.75. Hickory Ridge Road from State Road 450 to Poor Farm Road, that's $151,269. Ramadai Road from US 50 to County Road 72, $230,877. And Graded Road from Jenkins Road to Graded Lane, County Line, which is the county line, $277,266.68. The total bid from Millstone is $1,278,000. And it's a description on different each road is for what's to be done. But I sure wish, I'd rather Scott give those explanations. So, okay, again, that's from Millstone. And the second bid is from by Calcar. Same 6 projects. Their bids, Emmons, and we go in the same order. Emmons Ridge Road from Rusk Road to Hillham Road, $231,971.50. Hillham Road from Emmons Ridge Road to the county line, $167,768.60. Mill Road from County Line to Country Pines Road, $205,809.80. Hickory Ridge Road from State Road 450 to Poor Farm Road, $144,591.70. Ramadai Road from US 50 to County Road 72, $233,548.20. Graded Road from Jenkins Road to Graded Lane, which is the county line, $289,841.80. The total on those 6 projects, $1,273,531.60. So, and I would recommend I had the opportunity to sit down with Scott, make sure these bids are responsive, and then come back to the, he can come back to the commissioners on April 1st for a recommendation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Okay, if no one has anything else.
Please,
Yes.
what's the status on the old National Bank building as an annex to the courthouse?
Well, I don't want to sound like, I kind of, not gonna say got put on the back burner, but when the Brickyard Road Bridge financial situation come up, the money kind of went, you know, that was our main focus at the time, was paying for that thing at the time. So it's gonna come back around, and I mean, I know that just we talk, I mean, we'd like to do something sooner than later. As far as, I mean, even getting somebody in there.
So we didn't get any insurance for the bridge?
That's not,
Oh, it's not the
Different
same bridge?
That's one that we'll go to.
Okay. Oh, the one there.
But years ago, it was passed, and it was before I was here, up in, this is 6. So, but in the meantime, the fund, you know, our portion like tripled. You know, COVID and all the crap that, you know, the last 4 or 5 years. So I believe it started, if I had to guess, probably 2017 or 2018, just roughly guessing, because, you know, before I was sitting here, so it'd be more than 6 years, so.
I guess the next question was, do the commissioners have any intent of using that building as an annex to the courthouse?
Well, I think all options are on the table still, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you know, a couple on the council keep saying they have banks interested. I'd love to hear about it, but
There's no bank that's gonna come to shows.
no, I agree.
There is no bank.
I completely
The
agree.
one left that was here, there's not gonna be another one come in.
No,
That's crazy.
I completely agree with you. I mean, I think realistically, it's gonna be used for offices at some point. It's just, when do we get to that point, so.
I mean, it's just convenient. It's just right across. It's,
Every other county has a substantial, good-looking annex to the courthouse. We need to get away from renting these downhill, run-down properties and get everybody here in a central location and use that building as a courthouse annex so people in Martin County can be as proud as Davis County or Orange County or Du Bois County.
I still think we made the right decision on that. A lot of people may not agree, but, I mean, it's a nice looking building, and, I mean, you kind of control who your next door neighbor is.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Walt.
thank you, Walt. All right, our next meeting is Tuesday, April 1st at 5:30.
Make some motion.
May I ask a question, Michelle? Previously, NDOT advertised a meeting here on March 25th to discuss current traffic conditions. Have you had any confirmation about that meeting?
Not since they scheduled it, I haven't heard an update, but I can follow up and make sure they're still,
Okay, because that's next Tuesday.
yeah.
So,
Potts was talking about.
I mean, it was county plus asking municipalities to participate in it and well, to discuss what is believed to be traffic problems and danger problems on the present roads. So, I don't remember the time on that even.
Jessica Potts mentioned something to me about a meeting like that, but I thought she said it was in Du Bois County.
Well, this-
So you might ask Jessica.
Well, they're going to each county, it's my understanding, Andy, and March 25th was when they advertised, they first posted that about Martin County, but
It's at 10 o'clock, looks like.
I'm sorry?
It's at 10 o'clock on the
10 o'clock.
25th.
10 o'clock on 25th. Here.
Yeah.
I got one last question. I'm sorry, I'm kind of scattered here. Will there be a meeting about the road tax thing, or would it just happen? There will be a.
Yeah, we haven't even started that.
Session or a public hearing?
Yeah, we haven't started the process really, besides,
May I?
Yes, sir.
Any kind of tax has to be instituted by the county council. And they have to decide to consider it, and then they have to have a public hearing. So it's kind of a long, drawn-out process. And so the county council, as of this point, has not made any determination to proceed forward with that. But as you said, it's that train coming down the tracks. It's going to happen.
Little
So,
doubt about it.
the legislature is
Yeah,
going to mandate it because these community crossing grants are not going to be awarded to counties that don't have the wheel tax. So,
That was my understanding, so just want to know the process.
so there'll be plenty of notice to the community before that ever happens.
Thank you.
Bonnie?
There was, Andy, and, are you gonna be able to make that Linville or not?
As of right now, no.
Okay, I've got a doctor's appointment, next Tuesday afternoon, so I'm not sure it's all gonna pan, but anyway, there's a Alliance, the, emergency management thing, at Linville, the monthly deal is next Tuesday. Also, we just talked about road closure stuff, everybody, I guess, is aware the 50 is gonna close here, what, 24th?
Next week, yeah.
And I forget the, of course, it's all weather thing, I don't know how long it'll be closed, but it was at least a month, wasn't it? But,
Really close to a month if it wasn't.
but anyway, there's a problem, we kind of ran into it a little bit when we had trees down. There's I guess part of Mitchell Tree Township is across the river, but you can't get there from here, for who was supplying their fire protection, which was up by Fayetteville. Well, Huron had kind of, I guess, helped in on that some, but the Huron Fire Department has been taken over by another department in Lawrence County, which Huron's right there on the doorstep of this no man's land now. I mean, it's hard to get to, and will be even harder once the 50's closed, because I think there's a road you can take off a riser curve and wind around through country roads and end up back in there.
Yeah.
But that's going to substantially increase response time, and I don't know if of course the trustees who's responsible for fire protection. Trees is one thing, but fire protection, I don't know if there's been any push by the current trustee to check with Lawrence County to see if they can help with that, especially while this road closure is, because Schultz can't get there unless you go through. And actually, we're the ones that normally provide fire protection for Mitchell Tree, along with the Lawrence County Department. Was it
Indian Springs.
Indian Springs?
Indian Creek,
yeah,
Indian
sorry.
Creek
Yeah,
Fire
Indian Creek.
Department from
Yeah.
Fayetteville.
Yeah, so, now there's an issue there, and like I said, it's not really, it's for the county trustee to work out, because they're the ones that's responsible for fire protection. But, because Shoals backs us up, but, it's a long run for us to get to there, because it's, that's why with all this, it's kind of gonna be a mess. I just hope we don't have any issues, but there's not really anything that we can do about it. So we need our trustee to reach out to their fire. Yeah, they need to, I would suggest that somebody contact them and see if they have made any provisions for that.
Mitchell Tree is paying Indian Creek Fire Department for protection, and they are quick to respond. They anytime anybody calls, they're coming from the north and they are quick to respond. We don't get much response because we're in Timbuktu, and so we don't get much response on county roads, fire protection, ambulance service. Our ambulance service is even coming from Indian Creek. We're not going to get anything from Martin County ambulance. So it's just, Donald Trump says everything needs to be common sense. Well, this county doesn't operate on common sense. It's a total lacking subject here in Martin County, so we're gonna have to go back to it.
Any Creek has to go down to Williams, I think, and to get back around to that part between the river and I don't know where the county line is, where the township line is rather, going to up Highway 50. I don't know how far Shoals goes out in Normal, but they are not, the ones responsible for that to begin with. But
Do you guys have contact with Monty Wright, the fire chief for Indian Creek?
I don't know.
Well, I can give you his number, I have it.
Okay. But actually,
Monty's a really good guy and has provided excellent service and mutual aid from my time with Shoals. Indian Creek's an upstanding fire department.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the only problem is they can't get there either, because, I mean, without an extended response. That's why they was, getting help from Huron at that time, but since Huron is now taken over by another, I just don't know if anybody ever followed up on anything. But the trustee's the one that has to do none of us are, it's the trustee that has to, since they're principally the ones that provide fire protection for that township.
I can send you that number, Monty.
But, because we don't, in the past, we've did like an informal contract with them, and still it's kind of a word of mouth thing. I think we did it for like $1 or whatever to help back up any increase. So, because before they was out of Williams, but Indian Creek, like he says, they do an excellent job. They make good time. So they get their.
They have equipment at Fayetteville, but they also have equipment at the old fire department garage in Williams.
Yeah.
And so they are using both facilities to facilitate Mitchell Tree Township.
Yeah.
And I think they maintain a medical unit and fire suppression units out of Williams.
Absolutely.
So they do a good job. It's just that, like I said, this new problem is, because they had my understanding was there was a gentleman's agreement on this part, because even they would have a limited response, having to wind around to get over there, because there's the only one bridge crosses the river. But that I just brought it up in passing. I mean, it's something that needs to be looked at.
All right, anyone else?
I'll make motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye. Thanks for coming.
Thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Walt, do you talk to the Mitchell Tree?
Absolutely. I talked to everybody up in there.
Okay. You might, just in point of contact, to ask him if he's